Hey, buddy. I want you to do me a favor. You see that lady? She's very important to me, okay?
Okay.
So, I want you to take extra special care of her. You know what I'm talking about here?
I can't accept that. But I'll tell you what I can do. I can take extra special care of that young lady over there for nothing.
Okay, I appreciate that.
Have a nice afternoon.
Well, sir, could I trouble you for a glass of warm milk? It helps put me to sleep.
You could trouble me for a warm glass of shut the hell up. Now you will go to sleep, or I will put you to sleep. Check out the name tag. You're in my world now, Grandma.
Oh, dear.
On Friday the 13th, the Raiders got the win in Queanbeyan in their first of 2 pre-season games. This Saturday night, the Raiders will take the trip up to Gosford to take on the Cronulla Sharks. And today, the Milkman podcast is back. All that and more right here on the Milkman podcast. You're tuned in to the Milkman podcast. Hello and welcome back to the Milkman podcast, your unofficial home for Canberra Raiders rundowns and the home of undeniable mediocrity. My name's Mitch Roberts and welcome back to the Milkman podcast for another year, hopefully a full year this time. If you want to see why the hiatus, if this is your welcome back video, I guess, if this is the first time you've seen me since last year, go and watch the Milkman Explains Himself podcast from a few weeks ago now, I believe. So, but I'm back. I promise this year will be different. I'm back for the year. Should be good. I'm very much looking forward to it. Hopefully we can right the wrongs of last year. As I said, I'm not going to talk about finals from last year on this podcast, and I'm going to try and be a lot more positive than I was last year after watching back a few episodes, obviously. So, anyway, let's just get straight into this, shall we? Pre-season, Game 1 review. Obviously, we won our first pre-season game, 32-6 over the Storms, Seaford Oval in Queanbeyan. I really do think we need to play more games out there. It is such a good looking stadium. Like, that is just rugby league personified, in my opinion. If we need to play at least one game a year in the actual premiership season in Queanbeyan, you know, have the Wagga Wagga game, have the Queanbeyan game, come down to Adelaide, please, Canberra, please. But anyway, try scorer. So Asamoah got the ball rolling with the first 2 in the 18th and 35th minute, respectively. Then Innes got over the line at 44 minutes in. Finau got over the line in the 50th. Afamasago got his own in the 53rd. Sebi Chris got his own in the 67th minute. I'm not going to do it. And Sione Finau secured his double in the 77th minute. It was an absolute onslaught. We just took it to him. I think it was... what was it at halftime? I can't remember now much, really. I think it might have been 8-0 or something like that. It was very close at the half, and then after the half, we just sort of came out swinging, and it was absolutely brilliant. I loved every second of that second half. It was absolutely unbelievable. All right, yeah, I was right. 8-0 at halftime. It really didn't feel like that. It felt really a lot more even than that. Obviously, Asamoah getting over the line in the 18th and 35th minute went to show how sort of much of a struggle it was in that first half, but we just made it look so easy. I don't know if they changed something. I know we put Laurie from the halfback to the 1. We'll talk a bit more about Dane Laurie in a minute. Screw it, let's do it now. So I loved watching him at the 7. Obviously today, at the time of recording this on Friday the 20th, it was announced that Ethan Sanders is going to be wearing the 7. He's going to be quarterbacking, as I like to call it. He's going to be quarterbacking for the Canberra Raiders in round 1 against his old mentor at Manly, Jamal Fogarty. So that's going to be very interesting to watch. I'm very much looking forward to round 1 now, if I wasn't already. Obviously, we've got to get through Vegas, which I'm very much looking forward to. I cannot wait for the actual season to be back. It's going to be fantastic. I'm so excited. So excited. I also want to talk about the depth that we have. I just read out some names that could play and that will be very unlucky to miss a game. I don't know what the Raiders are going to do with Finau. I don't know if he's going to play or not. Sione looked very good, looked very comfortable in that second half especially. He got his double. It's going to be a headache for Stick. I do not envy him and the position he's in to sort of select not only the round 1 team, but if we stay healthy, onwards. It's just going to be so tough for him. I do not envy him. The poor bloke. The decisions he'll have to make. But I've always said depth is a very good problem to have. And that's exactly what the Canberra Raiders have at the moment. It's a very exciting time to be a Raiders fan and to be part of the Raiders, I'd imagine. So very, very exciting times. And then, like I said before, Sanders named the round 1 halfback already. In saying that, I loved Dane Laurie at halfback. I thought he was very good at halfback. I think I just said that. Anyway, loved him at the halfback. He looked very good. I don't know if it was just because he was the veteran presence out there. I'm assuming he would have been one of the older guys on the side in that game especially. I'm not sure of his age, and I find it weird to Google people's ages if I'm honest, so I won't be doing that. But he looked very comfortable, and he showed his class at the 7. I thought at the 1 when they shifted into a fullback in that second half, I just thought, man, like he looks okay as a fullback, but obviously this game coming, he will be wearing the number 1 jersey. So again, we'll get into the team list, and all that sort of stuff in a minute. But I am very excited. I'm very happy that Sanders was announced as our 7. Getting to sit behind Jamal Fogarty and him teaching you the game, like you'd learn so much from him. One of the better halfbacks in the NRL. So him being there, him teaching Ethan Sanders in a transition year, I guess you could call it that. I don't think I would, but you could call it a transition year, especially for Sanders, sort of sitting back and watching and just admiring Jamal Fogarty go to work. Obviously, round 1's going to be very interesting, that halfback battle. So I'm very excited for that. But obviously, the Raiders are going to get the win. There's Milkman tip spoiled. Oh, whoops. Anyway, depth, fantastic. I'm loving it. This next preseason game is going to be very, very good. I'm very much looking forward to that. Tomorrow, I believe. But again, we'll get into that later. So some points I want to make. The kicking game was terrible. We were 2 for 7 on conversions. As in set shots was absolutely appalling. I thought our kicking, as in drop kicks and all that sort of stuff, wasn't too bad. I was all right with that. But it was just the conversions. 2 for 7. Elia, I think is how you say it. I heard someone say it like that. Could be very wrong. I'd love to know how to say that. So if somebody knows and can break it down for me, please do let me know. But I think it's Elia, something like that. Gotti is at the 54th and Chevy Stewart at the 69th. I'm not going to do it. But on the other side of the coin, from terrible to outstanding, the defense was unbelievable. We dug our heels in. We played for each other. I thought our defence was amazing. It was a brilliant watch. And it was reflective on the score. That's why we won 32-6 like we did. We looked fantastic on the defensive side and led by our quarterback at the time, as again, like I said, Dane Laurie. He took control of that game, in my opinion, and, the score reflects that. So stats, going into the stats now via NRL.com, of course, because where else am I meant to get them from? 86.8% tackle efficiency. Obviously, the defensive stats. 309 to 37. That's tackle to missed tackle ratio. So we did very well in wrapping them up, which was very good. And then 10 of which were ineffective. Now our attack, 224 runs, 2,079 metres. Wow. 594 post-contact metres. 8 line breaks to the Storm's 4. 48 tackle breaks to the Storm's 37. And 173 kick return metres to the Storm's 50. So it was dominance. It was absolutely dominance. And I'll say this now. Of course, it's only preseason. It doesn't really matter. I was more interested in seeing how the guys would play and how Dane Laurie would play and all that sort of stuff. And obviously, he did very well. I was more so paying attention to how individuals were playing as I do in preseason. But you look at stuff like that and you just go, man, the future's bright in Canberra. It really is. That's the point I was going to make with the attack and the defence and all these stats in preseason. The main point I'll be making is depth, youth, unbelievable. There's 3 words for you. So there was a sin bin by Tualihi for the Raiders, which led in the 71st minute, which led to the Storm's only try in Liam Williams in the 72nd minute, and then they ended up making the conversion 1-for-1. So they were better than us in that sense. And again, obviously being preseason, what is it? Why does it matter? Who knows? But we were fairly undisciplined. And I think, again, that draws back to the youth and, a lot of New South Wales Cup guys and a lot of developmental guys that are still developing in the system and all that sort of stuff. It was very much an undisciplined watch. It was pretty tough. 12 errors to their 10, 7 penalties conceded to their 5, 2 inside 10 metres to their 0, and 1 on report. And as I said, 1 sin bin to their 0 and 0 respectively. So it was a tough watch, discipline-wise. But however, we had 2 ruck infringements to their 9. So obviously that's a reach. That's just a cherry pick stat I wanted to say to make us look that little bit better. So now let's look ahead to this Saturday's clash, or tomorrow, or today, or if you're watching this on Sunday or beyond. It's already happened. So what are you doing? But yeah, let's look ahead to this Saturday Arvos clash with the Sharks up in Gosford. So, team lists for this game. At the 1, Dane Laurie playing fullback, as he did in the second half against the Storms. Civilio Tamale on the wing with Xavier Savage, Sasagi and Chris in the centres. Alaya, I think it's Alaya. I was going to say 90, I'm not 90. 80% sure it's Alaya. I'm not sure though. And then Afamasaga playing in the halfback. I thought he was pretty good against the Storm. So from memory, could be wrong. But at the half will be Afamasaga. So Atamariota in the 8. Jaden Brayley, our first look at Brayley in a Canberra Raiders uniform at the hooker. And I'm pretty sure that's his brother, Blake Brayley, the captain for the Sharks, at the other hooker. So that's going to be very interesting hooker battle there if they are siblings. I'm not 100% sure. Zach Hosking will be captaining the side and playing prop. Madeline Nicholson in the 11, Noel Martin in the 12, and Smithies in the 13. So very, very good. Owen Paddy in the interchange, Jed Stewart, Sione Finau will be coming off the bench as well, and Jordan Utah, who did impress me in the first game against the Storms. I'm very much looking forward to seeing him back himself up there. Then the reserves, Chevy Stewart, who he was, in my opinion, pretty average against the Storms. So could be a reason. Tualihi again. Sean Packer, Miles Martin, Jake Clydesdale, Joe Roddy, Saxon Innes, Braden Darmody, Michael Asamoah, Samuel Hine, and Vina Patuki Case round out the reserves. Very, very nice. So there's the team list for the Sharks game tomorrow afternoon, or today, if you're watching this on the day of. I wouldn't blame you because this will be out pretty late, I'm assuming. And yeah, just some points I want to make about this game. Like I said a couple of times already, obviously it's preseason. So I just want to see how the players go, especially the likes of Brayley and other people who are suiting up for the Raiders for the first time, if not the younger guys or the guys I want to see that back themselves up, like Dane Laurie. And obviously he was okay up fullback, but he's going to get a full stint here. Very much looking forward, or you'd assume, but he's going to get at least a half of fullback. So very much looking forward to seeing that. Afamasaga at the 7, very much looking forward to seeing that as well. He played, from memory, like I said, pretty good against the Storms. And it's our first look at Xavier Savage so far this year, which, again, it's always a pleasure to watch him play. So very much looking forward to that as well. Again, Utah played pretty well against the Storms, so we'll see if he can back himself up. Hosking, like I said, captaining the side, and Smithies coming into the side, who I'm pretty sure will be the other captain or the vice captain or something like that. I saw something like that. Cool. We've got some good leadership going here, so very good. Hosco, very much looking forward to seeing him play as well, obviously. So see Brayley at hooker, like I said, very much looking forward to seeing him play. When I was going on with this podcast last year, it was first announced that we might be signing him. So it's kind of a full circle. So I hope he does well, and I hope he is the one to end up with a 14, because obviously Starlos, the hooker. I mean, come on, what are we doing here? And another headache for Stick could be inbound with the 14 leading into that. Who's going to get the 14? I think it's just widely assumed that Tom Starling will be the 9, and I don't think anyone will call me, Mr. Tom Starling for saying that, because I think that's obvious. But who's going to get the 14? Will it be Paddy? Will it be Brayley? I don't know. So that's going to be very interesting to see as well. Right, again, I'm going to keep those things short because, again, it is preseason. So what does it matter? But let's get into the main attraction here, the season 2026 predictions for the regular season, obviously. Regular season, watching too much American sport. The premiership season, obviously. So, minor premiers, number 1 on the ladder. Who do I think it's going to be? The Brisbane Broncos. I think the Bronx get the job done, get on top of the ladder fairly easily. I reckon they lock that up pretty quickly, to be honest, as quickly as possible. Not that quick, but you know what I mean. The Wooden Spooners for 2026. They finished 11th in 2025. I think it's going to be the Parramatta Eels. I think there's a bit of turmoil out there in Parramatta, so we'll see how they go, but I'm not counting on it. The Smoky for this season. Now, I could be completely wrong here, and everyone has this team as their Smoky. I'm not sure, or it's just widely assumed that they are going to do well. I would not know because I wanted to go in blind, and I'm now realising that was probably a bad call. But after finishing 14th in 2025, I reckon Bunnies could be an issue. Wayne Bennett, in his second year, he's not going to be out for very long. He's not going to let anything get in his way, and I think he's just going to go through, and I think he's going to make the 8 and probably even win a finals game unless they're against the Raiders. Surprise bag this year. Now, I've got 2 teams written down. But after a lot of thought, I think the second one might be a reach. So the second one that I'm now retracting was the Dragons, who finished 15th last year. I think the surprise bag this year, who's going to surprise a lot of people, will be the West Tigers. I think after finishing 13th last year, I think they just look good, and I think 12's ready to take that another step up. I'm very much looking forward to seeing how the Tigers go this year, and even the Dragons for that matter. I feel like they're always underperforming. So I think it's about time they step up. Obviously, the Dragons with Gutherson, with the beach sprinter. What's his name? Cookie.
Fellas, the guy who wears number 9 on his back for the Rabbitohs, he's a beach sprinter.
Hang on a sec, you're saying Damien Cook is a beach sprinter?
Hindy, I'm telling you.
No way, you've made that up. My mind is blown.
They both should be taking a step up. It's just whether they do. So that's why I've put them in surprise bag, because I think they might surprise some people. So I'll go with Dragons, because I don't think the Tigers are on many people's... I think the Tigers are on everybody's radar, but I think the Dragons do tend to get counted out quite a bit. So I'll take the Dragons on that one. I'll reverse my call and say, give me the Dragons as my surprise bag. My big call for this year, and I sort of wanted to keep this one more so Raiders related, obviously. I think Ethan Strange could play State of Origin this year. I'd love it. Let me reword. I think he gets named to a State of Origin, to the New South Wales Blues squad. I think he's just ready to go. I think he's young and he's just that good. So give me Ethan Strange to play State of Origin or get listed to the New South Wales Blues. State of Origin winners. Queensland. Moving on. No. Look, Queensland winning Origin is like saying the sky is blue. It's just a given 9 times out of 10, unfortunately, or 8 times out of 10, unfortunately. So it sucks, but I think it's going to happen. And it's going to suck really bad once again. Dalian medalist for 2026. He had a very good year last year, and I think this year he's going to do it. Give me Luke Metcalf of the New Zealand Warriors to win the Dalian. I think he's going to do it. He played very well last year, and I'd be surprised if he didn't finish top 5 again. So give me that. I wanted an underdog. I didn't want someone that everybody's taken. So give me it. Coach of the year, said it before. I think it's going to be Wayne Bennett. He's going to have a monumental turnaround for the Bunnies, and he's just that good, isn't he? The super coach. Read his book over the off-season. It wasn't his book, but it was on him by Andrew Webster, The Wolf You Feed. Great read. Definitely recommend that. Man, it's just going to happen, isn't it? It's just going to happen. Headline we will see. Now, this is topical. Zach Lomax, obviously wanting to go to Melbourne. I think a headline we will see at some point. Off-season counts. Grass isn't always greener. Lomax wants out of Melbourne. There you go. No, I reckon he gets to Melbourne, doesn't get game time, has a tantrum. I want out. That's what I reckon is going to happen. And the grand final winners, the big one. Where's my drum roll? New Zealand. I think the Wars get the job done. I don't know what it is. But I'm very high on the Wars this year. So let's head in to the 5 predictions I have set aside for your Canberra Raiders. All right, well, hopefully that lighting is a little bit better. I just had to have a bit of water and chuck the light on. So that's what that cut was. Now, anyway, the prediction finish I have for the Canberra Raiders, I think as far as the ceiling goes, because of our inexperience at halfback, and obviously I'm very confident in him, but I think it might take a couple of games to really set in. And, the point differential could come into play as far as second, third, fourth goes, but I think our ceiling for this year, realistically, probably second or third, just because of that inexperienced halfback and because I said the Broncos are going to get this minor premiership. So there you go. Worst case scenario, barring injuries, of course. Obviously, we're not counting injuries in this whole thing, because injuries suck, obviously. 8th, I think we make finals either way. I think 8th is like worst case scenario. I can't see us finishing 8th, honestly. I think we'll be well into the top 5, to be honest. Speaking of, I wanted to do like set up some sort of forfeit. If we don't make the top 5, I will blank. Couldn't think of anything good. So if you have any ideas, let me know and I'll pick one out and we'll talk about it at some point when I find one. So if you've got any bright ideas for what I should do if the Raiders do not make the top 5, or maybe even 4, we might extend it depending on what you think I should do. Let me know. We'll see what happens. Won't tell you any of my weaknesses because that's not how this works here. The best player, obviously, I want to say is Tom Starling, but and I did want to say Hudson Young as well, but because of injury last year, this guy missed a bit of time, and I think he's going to want to come back bigger, badder, and meaner. Give me Corey Horsburgh to be our best player in 2026. Obviously, at one point last year, he was, I think he ended up like top 5 in the Dally M or something like that, and then he got injured. Then he got injured and missed a bit of time, unfortunately. So I think he's going to bounce back this year, and I think he's going to look really good indeed. Most improved. Now, this one was tough. This one was very tough. I didn't know where to go with this. I really didn't. So I'll just go with what I got written down. And I've got justification. Obviously, it's a tough one to justify because of how good he was last year, because he got 5/8 of the year at the Dally M Awards. But hear me out. Ethan Strange, because he'll take that extra step up to get the Origin selectors' attention. Like I said, I think he's going to get at least named in the Origin squad for the Blues. So I think he's going to take that extra step up to get the attention of the selectors. Top try scorer for the Canberra Raiders. I forgot there's another one I put down here. Top try scorer. We'll go 3-2-1 because we've got 3-2-1 written down. At third, Savilio Tamale, I think, gets the third most tries for the Canberra Raiders. Second, Matty Tomoko. First, Xavier Savage will get over the line the most for your Canberra Raiders. Oh, never mind. There's a few more. Player to surprise / impress. Dane Laurie. He's already started to impress, and he could crack the round 1 side. He really could. I think, well, obviously he does, but he could crack like starting 13. I would not be surprised. I would not. So we'll see what happens there. I doubt it, but I wouldn't be surprised. And if you're not taking that, I think Ethan Sanders at the 7 will surprise people. Obviously not us Raiders fans, but I think people around the league, I think other people, content creators or armchair experts, whatever you want to call them, I think he'll surprise a lot of people this year because of that opportunity he had to learn under Jamal. Players to debut, I have Jake Clydesdale and Vina Patuki Case. Obviously, I think we saw a bit of Clydesdale. I think he was pretty quiet from memory from last week's game, and I think Vina was the same. So I think they'll debut. I think they will impress big time by the end of the year, and I think they'll end up a debutant at some point. And the first try scorer, I've put this in later. I think the first try scorer of the 2026 season, and there is a reason for this, Seb, Chris, I think gets over the line first. Now, the last time I called a first try scorer at a game was 2021 in Canberra against the Broncos. I was there, and they had the player introductions obviously going on, and I leant over to Mum and I said, when Seb Chris came on the screen, I leant over to Mum and said, he's scoring first, and he did. So that's why I'm putting no money or anything down, but I'm going to put it on the line here, my pride, I guess, that he will score the first try for the 2026 season for the Raiders. Obviously not the first try for anyone, but for the Raiders, I think it'll be Seb Chris. Whether we get shut out or not in the first game, obviously it won't happen. Obviously we're going to win in Manly, obviously. But anyway, those are my season predictions. Let me know what you think. If you agree, disagree, let me know. Not very many bold calls there, I'm not going to lie. But anyway, we'll see how things go. Now, head around the NRL. It's back. It's ready to go. So we'll start with the most important thing. This has been living rent-free in my head. The Roosters bus getting stuck, as far as I'm aware, twice. Not once, twice around Newcastle. One was at a servo, I'm pretty sure. And the other one was at the hotel they were staying at, I'm pretty sure. That's what it looked like. Obviously, if you're watching this on YouTube, you can see the vision going on. What is that? You got to know your route. You got to know your height. And it happened not once, but twice. Happening once is kind of like, all right, yeah, mistakes happen. Obviously, you get flamed for it because it's the Roosters. Everyone loves taking big craps on the Roosters, but twice. Oh, you're joking, aren't you? How do you do that twice? In what universe does that happen to you twice? Obviously, it could be a different driver, and it could be something like that, but I highly doubt it. How does that happen? Is that not the funniest thing? Anyway, and moving on, NRL State of Origin rule changes. Internationals are now allowed to play. So if you play for Samoa, you're allowed to play for New South Wales or Queensland. If you play for Fiji, you're allowed to play. If you play for New Zealand in the internationals, you're allowed to play. So that leaves the door open for Kalen Ponga of the Knights to play for the Kiwis, as well as his Queensland Maroons. Now, that means, and this is quoted by Cameron Mee of NRL.com, reigning Dalian props of the year, Adam Fanua-Blake and Payne Haas could link up in the front row for New South Wales. And I still have Queensland winning. What does that tell you? That New South Wales are broken. And obviously, Sebastian Kris, now the door opens for him to play for New South Wales. But it would be bittersweet for him because obviously the articles come out that he is a Queenslander, and this is him saying this. He's a Queenslander at heart, so it will be very bittersweet for him. It would be very interesting to see what happens there. Obviously, he'd need a huge season to be able to get named for State of Origin. But he's eligible. He's very much eligible, and I'd love to see him in a Blues jersey. I'd love it. I'd absolutely love it. Moving on. This is more so Milk Bar, but I don't have any good stuff for the Milk Bar. Obviously, the Sebastian Kris and New South Wales stuff could have slotted in there, but I feel like this is more of around the NRL sort of thing. Ricky's Angels. Obviously, the preseason stuff. Obviously, him at the team dinner and all that sort of stuff, and the photo, him at the head of the table, and all the wags, all the players' missos and stuff like that, all there surrounding Ricky Stewart, and that made headlines. That was something, and it was just league-wide news. I think I still think, excuse me, that'll be Story of the Year, or a Story of the Year candidate, because that is just one of the funniest things I think I've ever seen. Like, it is just great stuff, real healthy stuff. Ricky's Angels, the comments on those posts, scroll back, look at the comments on the Raiders post, like, it was just hilarious. It's a great chuckle. I definitely recommend it. It was fantastic. Now, obviously, this morning, at time of recording, obviously it's Friday, Hull Kingston Rovers beat the Brisbane Broncos in the World Club Challenge. Hull KR got the job done over the champions of the NRL. What a final 20 minutes. What an atmosphere. It made me jealous that we aren't like that here in Australia. They're just mad, and obviously that comes back from football culture, but it was a fantastic watch, especially that final 20 minutes. 30-24 final score. An English club has won the World Club Championship 3 times in a row now. Obviously, in 2020, before it was postponed due to COVID, I believe. I think that's the logical answer. I couldn't find anything on it, but I'm assuming that's why. Roosters beat St Helens 20-12. Then after the 2-year hiatus, they came back in 2023 in St Helens, and that's when the streak started. St Helens beat Penrith 13-12 in 2024. Wigan beat Penrith 16-12. 2025 it was cancelled. From what I read, it was due to Penrith players going international, so they were like, nah, can't do anything about it. Sorry. That's what I read. Don't know if that's true or not. Don't take my word for it. Could not find anything, but that's my understanding. So it was cancelled in 2025. Then obviously this morning, Hull Kingston Rovers beat the Broncos, and what a game it was. That final 20 minutes was unbelievable. Wow. So, and HKR also become the 4th side to do what has been crowned as the quadruple, which is the Challenge Cup, the League Leaders Shield, Super League Trophy, and the World Club Challenge. They join Wigan, Bradford, and St Helens in this prestigious club. So congratulations to Hull Kingston Rovers. That is an incredible feat. But I'll tell you right now, Leeds will be next year, unless they play the Raiders, and it's not happening. So go Rhinos. Speaking of the Leeds Rhinos, the warm-up tee, I don't know if you've seen it. If you're watching on YouTube, it's on the screen now. Look how many sponsors there are. Isn't that ridiculous? Go and have a look. If you're listening, go have a look. Do yourself the favour. Look up the Leeds Rhinos 2026 warm-up tee. There is just sponsors all over it. I'm actually thinking of getting one myself just for the novelty of it. Like, it is crazy. Now, they obviously have other training tees at the same price. Like, surely you'd assume if you have that many sponsors on the shirt, you'd assume it'd be cheaper, right? But it's not. It's the exact same price, and you can get another one with less on it and less sponsors for the exact same price. So if you're not a fan of it, obviously there are other options if you are a Rhinos fan. But I really like the Rob Burrow sort of thing on it as well. But for £35, like, you could get any other training shirt, which is around 70 Australian dollars, I believe. So it's crazy. Like, Retro Rugby League on Instagram and TikTok, I believe, he spoke about it, and I was just dumbfounded. I was like, what is this? Obviously, on the screen, if you are watching, like I said, the other options will be on the screen. Some other ones I just picked. There are more. They've got so many training shirts and options. It's not even funny. I don't think I've ever seen anything like it. But yeah, for $70, I mean, what are we doing here, Leeds? What is this? We do have a technical milk bar here. There's another thing I want to talk about. Hudson Young spoke on the altercation with Morgan Smithies in Vegas last year on Josh Mansour's Unscripted podcast. And here's the clip.
I just want to apologise on behalf of myself for the actions on Thursday night. Obviously not good enough.
What was that? What happened? What can you tell me? You can laugh about it now, right? Can we talk about it?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, go. What happened?
Well, when we first got there, we weren't actually allowed to go out the first night because Sticky's obviously been a player. But then we convinced him to let us out.
Okay.
So he let us out. But when we first got there, so we've arrived in Vegas and everyone's gone up to their rooms. And me and Starlo, Tommy Starlin's my roommate, we've gone to go in ours. We've opened the door and it's some random room, like clothes everywhere. It wasn't our room. So I was like, what are we going to do? So we've gone back downstairs. Everyone's messaging in the chat like, we're changed. We're allowed to go out. Everyone get changed. We're leaving in 10 minutes. So me and Starlo are in the hallway like, what are we doing? I was like, we'll go down to reception, we'll just get changed and we'll leave our bags down there. And then when we were coming back, we've gone to go into our room, and then I was said to Morgs, I was like, you can't come to my room, I don't have a room. And then obviously we were pretty at the time, and we just started spraying each other and ended up in a push and shove. And one of the other boys brought back an inflatable baseball bat thing from one of the nightclubs. And then that's obviously seen by the security that someone's carrying that around, and just got blown up into this massive thing.
Oh.
Me and Morgs were trying to get back into our room because after when we got back, realised we didn't have a room. We've gone back downstairs to try and get our room and that, and they're like, no, you just need to leave. And we're like, what for? And they're like, well, it's like we're mates. We're just standing here trying to get in our room together. Like,
Because majority of the people had your back, and they were saying like, why do these boys have to have like a public apology about this? Like, it was just like a little push.
I think it was the best thing to do. Like,
yeah, I get it. I get it. Like from an NRL brand perspective, but end of the day, like, it wasn't that deep.
Yeah, no.
It wasn't that deep.
It wasn't that deep.
It wasn't that deep.
I think if we didn't do it, like, everyone would have been saying, who was it, what happened?
Oh yeah, it would have been.
Just
Yeah, it would have led to more
ephemeral
speculation.
Yeah.
So there you go. Just a bit of fun turned sour by the sounds of it. So there you go. Anyway, so I think that's all I needed to talk about, really. I've blown through this quicker than I expected. I expected this to be fairly long, but, obviously that's not the case here. So see what happens. But anyway, let's talk schedule. So before I depart, I guess, the schedule looks like this. So until August, from this Monday onwards, public holidays and all that sort of stuff, it might change to a Tuesday, but it'll be Monday and Friday until August. Public holidays on a Monday will be shifted to a Tuesday probably, or whatever. Again, I'll definitely let you guys know what's going on before it happens, obviously, but it looks like it'll be Monday to Friday until August. And then when August turns, it'll be Monday and Thursday due to, uni and all that sort of stuff. So that's that. That's how it looks. That's what's going on. So I think that's it. I've kept this pretty short. That's a bit disappointing to me. No, it's not. No one wants to hear me ramble on for longer than I have to. It's all right. But yeah, I'll leave it there. Thank you very much for watching this episode of the Milkman Podcast. We're back. We're back in business. Got to stop doing that. We're back in business. We're ready to go. See you guys on Monday for the review show for the Sharks game. We'll see how we go there. Obviously, Raiders 13 plus. Come on now. But yeah, see you guys in the next one. And of course,